so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
We do a little push bow.
That was absolutely wonderful. Doherty has a great music department here, music director, so thank you. Okay, we're going to have the invocations going to be brought to us by the Reverend Richard F. Trainer, pastor of Blessed Sacrament Church.
We gathered together this morning to ask God's blessings, to bless the land and to bless the workers who will build this fine high school for this wonderful community of Worcester. Shall we pray? God, we turn to you at the beginning of this project. You are the foundation of everything that we build in our lives. Bless this land. Give safety to all who take part in construction at this site for this future school. Bless those in city government and in school administration who have brought us to this moment. May the architect of our lives bless this undertaking, for we ask all blessings in the name of our good God. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Reverend. Wow, this is an exciting day, isn't it, everyone?
It is.
Yeah. And before I get the program going, I just want to recognize some of our elected officials. District Attorney Joe Early's with us today. School committee member Maureen, Laura Clancy, John Manfredo. City Council is Donna Clorio, Joy Russell, and Kate Toomey. And Principal Sally Mahoney. We have state reps Jimmy O'Day is with us. Jimmy, Mary Keith, David LaBeouf. Thank you. I think I got everything.
Christian King.
Is Christian King here too? And Christian King. They're all speaking. And Sally Maloney. Sally Maloney here. And so I want to say thank you, Sally. Sally, you must be excited. Something Christian King in the back. And who am I missing?
Jeremy.
Oh, Jermaine Johnson in the back there. Welcome, Jermaine. It's good to see you. And anyways, today we're celebrating the groundbreaking of the new Doherty Memorial High School. This school represents a promise. This is a promise to our future generations of our students in our city. The promise is that we will give our students every possible resource and advantage we can muster to prepare them for the rest of their lives and give our city the minds that we need to create a more just, prosperous, and equitable future. As my friend Congressman Jim McGovern says, budgets are moral documents, and our investments reflect our values. The $300 million project is another in our city's plan to replace and repair those school facilities most in need. Along with the MSBA, we have invested over almost close to $70 million in roofs, windows, and boilers to make our schools more energy efficient. Since the opening of Worcester Technical High School in 2008, our city has probably close to $1 billion investment in the public schools and the facilities. I'm singularly proud of how energy efficient this project design is. The systems and construction of this project is designed to target the net zero carbon negative goals outlined in the recently adopted Green Worcester Plan by the city manager in front of the council. This new Doherty Memorial High School is being built by maximizing the existing footprint of the current campus to minimize the impact on the Newton Hill Park. Like all our new construction, this new school will be a true state-of-the-art facility with morning classes, theater spaces, and auditoriums. And unlike the current Doherty High School, this new school will be fully ADA accessible on every level. I want to single out some people who have been instrumental in making this project a reality. Treasurer Deb Goldberg couldn't be here today but sends her greetings. Has been a constant advocate for these projects in the city of Worcester. Her team at the Massachusetts School Building Authority, led by Jack McCarthy, work hand in hand with our city and school officials to move our projects through building authorization process. Likewise, Representative John Mahoney and Senator Harriet Chandler have pushed and pushed for this project that we are celebrating today. We couldn't do these projects without the state delegation at all, whether it be South High School, whether it be all the projects we're doing for the schools. Our city manager and city council deserve real credit for authorizing the borrowing for this project and so many others. Thank you, Mr. Augustus. We are committed to giving our students and our communities as a whole the resources that need to be prepared for our state next economy. I want to thank Russ Adams and Brian Allen, who deserve some real credit for quarterbacking these projects, along with the designers and architects. Leah Fontaine and Dimio, thank you. This is going to be a great construction project. Of course, Ramon Pagano has been a great advocate for the city of Worcester and do wonderful work designing these schools. And of course, Superintendent Panenda for all the work she's done putting the school together and the plan. So thank you for that. So this is a reality. So I thank everybody for coming here today to make this project fruition. It's been a great team effort. With that, I'd like to welcome up, really I want to say the designer of the school herself in some respects, Superintendent Maureen Panenda.
I'm honored to be able to do the greetings today. It's really amazing to be a superintendent and to be able to come in at the tail end of Nelson Place and be able to dedicate that, and then the building of South High School, and now involved with the building of Doherty Memorial High School. And it has been a long time, it seems, till we got to this place where we are today, where we're actually going to put the shovel in the ground and get this school built. Doherty Memorial High School, as you know, opened its doors in the fall of 1966. It replaced two closing schools, Worcester Classical High School and Worcester Commerce High School. The school is named after Dr. Leo T. Doherty, who was superintendent of the Worcester Public Schools from 1956 to 1962. The new Doherty will offer many new opportunities for its students. The programs and the designs are developed to meet the community goals that were built on the several visioning sessions that all of us attended. The new Doherty High School is going to have 3 very exciting additional Chapter 74 programs. It's going to have programming and web development, which will have 200 students in that program. Marketing, management, and finance, also planned for 200 students. And construction, craft, labor, also planned for 200 students. We will expand the engineering and technology existing program from 350 to 400 new students. The school will also have an entry sequence which will be very welcoming yet secure. A prominent lobby space that will enhance and encourage community use after school hours. Building organization that ensures the educational program is equally accessible to all. Features that will display student work and encourage the strong sense of Doherty Highlander pride. Building masses and design that is sensitive to the surrounding neighborhood scale and also the parkland. Integration of special education spaces to increase inclusion and reduce potential stigma. An organization of classrooms that will create grade 9 communities to assist the challenging transition into high school. It will introduce and feature many STEM spaces that the existing Doherty could not spatially support, such as very unique maker spaces, computer science classrooms, science labs, and Chapter 74 vocational spaces. A lot of the spaces will be built to be used for collaboration. There's been careful consideration of the daylight in the interior spaces. There's also durable and low maintenance interior finishes with a timeless color palette. The integration of the history of Doherty Memorial High is very important, and its role in the city of Worcester. It will also have beautiful landscaping. It will have a great football stadium and lots of wonderful fields. So today we begin this process with the groundbreaking of this great school. This came together as a collaboration with many people that meet every single week for several hours. So I too want to thank Lamro Pagano, Fontaine Brothers on our side of the city, Jim Bedard for his attendance at all those meetings, Jack Mccarthy for, I think, loving Worcester the best and always coming to everything we have here, City Manager Ed Augustus, Mayor Petty. Also, Sally Maloney, I want to really recognize her for spending summers, countless hours on this project, as well as John Staley and the whole Doherty staff. On the City Council, the school committee, Russ Adams from the city side that has been present through all of it, Dimeo and Tishman, and also, of course, Deb Goldberg for helping us receive the funding. So I'm honored to be here today, and it's the most exciting moment for me and everybody in the Doherty community as we begin this step of building a brand new Doherty. Thank you.
Thank you, Maureen. And our next speaker, someone who spent his whole career advocating for public education, and I couldn't have done it without him. Please welcome City Manager Ed Augustus.
I want to thank and congratulate the Mayor for Life, Joe Petty, for that generous introduction. And welcome all to the Arctic Circle. Oh my God.
Okay, you're done.
So this really is an exciting moment for the city of Worcester. And you're going to hear these repetitive comments of thanks, but it takes a lot of work to build a 460,000 square foot state-of-the-art educational facility. And there are a lot of people who have to be involved, from identifying the funding to designing the educational program to actually designing the building of the project and the surrounding landscape and shepherding it through the various processes. So it really is appropriate that we take some time today and acknowledge that as we embark on the construction of the school. And I do want to add my thanks to Superintendent Panenda, who is, very hands-on with everything she does. She's very knowledgeable about everything from the colors in the school to the educational programming, and her attention to detail is paying dividends, I think, in the final project. So thank you to her. Thank you to the school committee for their advocacy and bringing this project to fruition. I want to thank the mayor, who really has been a champion for this project and for building aggressively all of our secondary schools. He really has been the one who's kind of called our attention to the need to invest in these buildings. And the City Council for always voting to support the funding necessary to move these forward. Jack McCarthy, we've gotten him a new apartment in downtown Worcester. He's going to be staying here on a regular basis, and we appreciate that. And he's got his checkbook and Deb Goldberg's checkbook with him for that, so that's great. MSBA has been a wonderful partner with us, as was mentioned, and we really appreciate that partnership. So thank you, Jack. Thank Treasurer Goldberg. And we really do punch above our weight as a legislative delegation. We've got a great team of folks who really know how to work on behalf of their constituents, and I want to recognize and appreciate all of them, and especially thank Rep. Mahoney and Senator Chandler for their strong efforts on behalf of this particular project. I want to thank Russ Adams, a guy who's really under the radar screen, but his hands-on attention to detail makes a huge difference in all of these projects. So Russ, thank you. And we really have tried to use this project as a way to implement our Green Worcester plan. So I want to thank John Odell in our Office of Sustainability. This is going to be a LEED certified building. It's going to have 1,776 rooftop solar photo voltaic panels, producing nearly 800 kilowatt power. We have high performance windows, and this is kind of cool. The lobby is going to feature a display that talks about the energy efficient elements and the sustainability elements within this building. So it's an educational opportunity for the faculty, for the young people, and for the community that are going to use this building so often. And as has been mentioned, it's going to be a robust educational facility with expanded Chapter 74 programs, with the Biotech Academy, and with state-of-the-art everything, from an 800-plus seat auditorium to a black box theater to an 18,000 square foot gymnasium, new synthetic turf field on the spot that we're standing in. And we're trying to do this all at the same time of being very respectful and very cognizant about the amazing park that Doherty High School calls home. And we're doing it in a way that is preserving this important park land and making sure that this building integrates into the landscape here, as well as integrates the park into the educational experience of the young people. And I want to thank everybody for having that sensitivity and that sense of responsibility as we design this project and do the construction of this project. We got the band back together with Lamoureux, Pagano, and Tishman and Fontaine. Everybody has done such an amazing job at the South High School and Nelson Place. So we're keeping things rolling and keeping the team together. And I expect another on-time and under-budget project here. So congratulations to everyone, and thanks for a great day.
Thank you, Mr. Manager. Our next speaker, who really advocated with this, because you personally advocated with me, but I know John Mahoney advocated with Matt Donovan, Jack McCarthy, MSBA for several years to get this project off the road. Probably couldn't have done without him. Please welcome representing the delegation, State Rep John Mahoney.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and it's really an honor to be here today. This is a dream come true. I'd like to thank all the Doherty students for joining us today. I don't see my Liam. I imagine he must be in detention, so with Eddie Capstick must have him under control. But this is great, and I would just like to thank our friend Jack McCarthy for being here. Matt Donovan, Maria Popolo from Boston. I work with them all the time. We got to know each other on the Nelson Place project. Steve Grossman was the treasurer there. He was great. Now we have the treasurer Goldberg, who helped make this happen. So you've heard it all from the manager and the mayor, what this new school is going to be like. It's just going to be unbelievable, and I really look forward to being here in 3 years for the opening. And I told the mayor, I really dreamed the new Doherty would be this sensational. And he said, well, when did you dream about the new Doherty? I said, when I was sleeping at Burncoat. But anyways, it all worked out, and I'm not the orator as the manager is. He's like Worcester's Henry Clay. He's on to look like Henry. But anyways, I was told by... It's good. So I was told by Dr. Friel I have 2 minutes, and if I go over my 2 minutes, it will go over on my permanent record, and I don't want to see that opened up. So anyways, thank you everybody, great day.
Thank you, John. I do want to recognize Gary Rose. I forgot Gary. Gary was teaching here before we were all born. Thank you, Gary. I appreciate it. And I also want to recognize David Asian and team Fred Taylor from the Carpenters, who do great work here for the city of Worcester. Thank you. Our next speaker, who we couldn't do without him, in the MSBA. He's always here. He's a good friend of the city of Worcester. Please welcome Jack McCarthy.
Matt, make sure I don't follow Mahoney again, will you please? On behalf of Treasurer Goldberg and the rest of the staff, including Matt Donovan and Maria Popolo, thank you for allowing us to be part of this celebration. You know, the mission of the Mass School Building Authority is to partner with Massachusetts communities to support the design and construction of educationally appropriate, flexible, sustainable, and cost-effective public school facilities. And this project certainly meets that ideal. We're contributing about $124 million of state funds for this project. And I wish I did the total. I think we're probably up around 700.
Not enough.
Yeah, I know that. You know, trust me, John, this isn't the first time Burncoat was mentioned today. But anyway, we've participated a lot out here in Worcester, and I love Worcester. Maureen was right. I love Worcester the best, except there's only one problem with Worcester. And after I say this, you'll know where I went to school. You have Holy Cross here, so that's a problem. But I want to congratulate the team here for assembling the consultants that you did. You know, Fontaine Brothers, Dimeo, Lamoureux, Pagano, Tishman. We know what they've done before, and like Ed, I expect us to be on time, under budget, and I expect that because you've done it before. So there's no reason why we shouldn't expect you to do it again. And I'm watching young Mr. Fontaine smile at me right now. But I gotta say, all the projects, the Doherty High School means more to me. And that's because my mother was a Doherty, not related to, was it Leo that you said?
Yes, yeah.
So in my mind, this is the Anna Doherty High School going forward. So and I just want to congratulate everybody that won yesterday. I see my friend Kate, who grew up with me in Holy Name Parish in West Roxbury. So congratulations to everybody that was successful yesterday. And if you've heard me speak before, you know I always end with this quote, and I'm wondering if Worcester has my speech pretty much memorized by now, but Dan Valentine was a reporter for the Salt Lake City Tribune, and he once described a school as a building of 4 walls with tomorrow inside. And we at the MSBA are proud to be part of Worcester, and in particular Doherty's tomorrow. So thank you.
Thanks, Jackie. Thanks for being here today. We have a few more tomorrows for you.
Well done. Well done.
But representing the school committee, I know they're proud of the school and what they've done for education in the city of Worcester. Is please welcome in his last term, Jack Foley. Jack.
Welcome to Jack McCarthy High School.
What did it work?
Yeah, I'm glad this is energy efficient, City Manager. I wish we'd spend some of that energy on some heaters here in the tent. But it is my privilege to be here this morning to celebrate the building of the new Doherty High School and the tremendous planning required for this project. I want to join the others to thank the Massachusetts School Building Authority, our local state delegation, City Manager Augustus, and the City Council for your support of Worcester's many school building projects and for a new Doherty High School. Also, I recognize Superintendent Panenda and Sally Mahoney and her team for all the planning work that really makes this work and makes the building be the future for our students here. I particularly want to recognize Mayor Joe Petty, not only for his leadership, as Worcester has aggressively pursued support for new high schools, but also for his unrelenting leadership during the pandemic and the many challenges that we have faced over a city over the past 2 years. Thanks, Joe. Done a great job with this. Doherty High School, as the superintendent mentioned, opened its doors in 1966 and brought classical and commerce high schools together. This old building has great memories, as many of us may have attended Doherty or had children who went to school here. I am proud to have 3 children who are graduates of Doherty, including my daughter Lindsay, who could not miss it today and who is here and a member of the class of 2005. These are great memories for all of us, but this is an older building, and our students deserve much better. For our students to compete successfully with their peers, it is our obligation to provide them with the proper facilities. The new Doherty will have state-of-the-art performance space. I know Mr. Sullivan will be very happy to see that. Extensive laboratories and welcoming spaces of learning for the future leaders of our city. I look forward to the ongoing construction with the great team at Fontaine Brothers and Lamoureux and Pagano, and a celebratory opening of the new Doherty in 2024. And as Bill Belichick would say, on to Burncoat. Mr. Mayor.
Thanks, Jack. Our next speaker, this is a feeder school for 3 district city councilors that come from their district. So, you know, Matt Wall was on the team here to get this school done, and great advocate for this neighborhood, does a wonderful work, a good friend of mine. Please welcome City Council Matt Wall.
I do want to thank the mayor. He called me this morning and said, Matt, how you doing? What can I do? Can I help you out at all? I said, Mr. Mayor, just please don't let me go behind after Jack Mahoney. So I want to thank you, Mr. Mayor. Great day for District 5 as well as District 4 and District 1. And last week we had a ribbon cutting for South High. A lot of people talk about all the development going on downtown, but if you look at the money we're spending in our schools and in our parks, it's a testament to the council and to the manager. And one organization or one entity that hasn't been thanked today is the Doherty High Building Committee. We took a number of very difficult votes, specifically where the school was going to be located. It's a great site, as the manager mentioned. We're protecting the parkland, so we are here because it's a great site, and I want to thank the building committee for that. And finally, the education and the training that the students are going to receive in that building are second to none, so we're very proud of that today. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Matt. Another advocate for this school who put some time into this to make sure it's done in South High School. Please welcome Sarai Rivera.
I'll keep your blanket warm.
Go ahead and use it. Go ahead. I brought it for a reason. I'm willing to share. I know we're in COVID, we're not supposed to say that. I stand here to you really proud as a former Highlander. Oh, once a Highlander, always a Highlander. Class of 19, none of your business. I've heard so many things. I'm not going to go through the whole thank you because I'm going to just say ditto because it is so cold and I know we all need to get warm. But I really want to be able to say I've heard a lot of things. Program, opportunity, access, all those things are so important, and I stand before you today as representing District 4 to be able to say I am so proud to be able to have families and youth of the district to be able to come here and be able to access and have all the opportunity to compete. And you know what? What's really important for us to take away today is an investment. Yeah, I know there's a lot of dollars, a lot of investment, but let me tell you, an investment in an investment in this school is an investment for our youth. It's an investment for our future here in the city. So I stand here to say thank you.
Thank you, Sarai. Thank you, Sarai. I should let you set the stage earlier on that short speech, but thank you. I just want our next and final speaker, Sean Rose, and who's defeated his district, a lot of kids from his district come to this school and advocate for this school, Doherty High School. Please welcome City Council Sean Rose.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good morning, everyone, and I want to thank our Doherty High School students for braving the elements here with us. It's super chilly. I'm thrilled to be here for this groundbreaking, and I want to acknowledge the MSBA, our state delegation, the school committee, Superintendent Panenda, and City Council for making this nearly $300 million project happen. Wouldn't be possible without the city manager's leadership. Like so many of us, this project is personal to me. As many of you know, my family is a Doherty family. My daughter is a graduate of Doherty. I have another who is currently attending, probably with Liam in detention. And I have one at Forest Grove who is going to have the privilege of coming into a state-of-the-art new high school. Doherty High holds many memories for me and my family, and for many around the city, and we're happy to have advocated for this project to happen. I know with the leadership that we have here in the city, that Doherty will be another successful project for the city overall, and more importantly, for our current and future students. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Sean. This is a great day for the city of Worcester. We've been planning for this for a number of years, and I know everybody's cold, so I'll shut up. But we are going to do the groundbreaking, so if you want to come up and do the groundbreaking. But before we do, I just want to thank Helen Frail, who put this whole program together. Thank you, Helen. Couldn't have done without you. Okay.